Let's talk about what makes you miss. You ever been shooting, you come up on a target, you got the perfect sight picture, you pull the trigger, and the bullet doesn't hit the target. And you could swear that you had your sights lined up. Here's what's happening. When you make the shot, you are anticipating the recoil of the gun. Now everybody reacts differently. Most people, when they think the gun is going to go off, because the recoil goes up, you try and stop it from doing that. The problem is, you do that prior to the bullet leaving the barrel. That's why they call it anticipation. Let's take a look at that. I'm up on target. I'm looking at my sights. I know I have the right picture, and I decide I'm going to make the gun go off. And in doing that, I flinch, which makes the gun tip, and I have a miss. Okay, here's the sight picture you're going to have prior to the shot. You have the front sight lined up with the rear. It's in the center of the white. Now you decide that you have the sight picture that you want, and you tell yourself it's time to make the gun go off. In doing so, I anticipate the shot, which makes the gun dip down prior to the gun going off. Let's take a look at what it looks like in real action. Here we go. Here comes the shot, anticipation, and underneath the target it goes. That's one type of anticipation, or flinch. Let's talk about a different type. As I get used to shooting, I get nice and relaxed, and now I'm very conscious of the anticipation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to relax, and I'm just going to go with the flow, kind of a California thing. I'm just going to go with it. So again, because I anticipate, I kind of rock back before the bullet leaves the barrel, and over the top it goes. And here's what it looks like. I got my sight picture. I'm nice and relaxed. I know the gun's going to recoil. I'm just going to let my body go with it. And what I do is I anticipate the shot, and over the top of the target it goes. So let's take a look at that. So I got my sights lined up. I'm going to be nice and relaxed. I'm going to go with the shot. I start my trigger squeeze. My barrel goes up, and the shot goes over the target. Now that you've seen how anticipating the shot drastically affects your accuracy, let me show you a drill you can do that will help you develop better trigger control. And I suggest that you do this drill. Take every time you go out 5 to 10 minutes, and if you do it regularly, you'll get rid of that flinch. Okay, we call it skip loading. I have 6 chambers in my gun, but I'm not going to fill all of them, and I'm not going to know where the live rounds are. So that when I go to pull the trigger and hit that empty cylinder, I'm going to see what my automatic reaction is. So I'm going to take, for this purpose, I'm going to take 1 round. And I'm going to spin the cylinder so that I don't know where it is. Okay? Now, I can tell you that you're anticipating the shot or flinching, but until you feel it, you will not be able to correct it. This is a drill that's going to show you, get you a feel for what you're doing, and then we can develop a way of getting rid of it with our trigger squeeze. Okay, so I'm going to come up on target, but before I do, I'm going to put my safety glasses on. All right, I come up on target, I get my stance, my grip, I cock the hammer, and I'm going to think of pulling the trigger like the brakes of my car. I'm not trying to make the gun go off. I'm going to focus on my sights, and I'm going to squeeze the trigger till it does. Then, when I hit that empty cylinder, I can feel that anticipation. I feel my hands tensing up, and you can see that the gun comes off the target. When you have a live round in there, you do not feel that because it simultaneously raises the gun. So now I get a feel for it. Okay, I felt it. I'm going to try and relax. I'm going to let the trigger finger do all the work. So I come up again, and I'm looking at my sights, and I squeeze the trigger a little bit, just like the brakes of my car. A little bit more, a little bit more. I'm on the target. I got my sights, a little bit more, nice and smooth, and the gun goes off, and bullseye. smoking. With a little bit of practice, you can shoot that fast. All right, a lot of practice. Smooth trigger. Don't anticipate the shot. And we're ready to rock and roll. This is Lefty Longridge saying, perfect practice gives perfect results. See you later.